So guys, we start with a new concept here, and we will cover rest of the topics that we discussed yesterday. We'll continue that. So, but I just want to start with a new one. So the concept name is UDF, User Defined Function. So user defined function is something that you will be having already few functions, right? Average, min, max functions and many other. So if you want to define your own function, you want to write some block of code in Scala and you wanted to pass the information to that particular code every time. So how we will do that, we will see. So in Scala, uh, I just want to introduce how to write functions. So to write functions in Scala, you have to use def keyword. See something like this, def keyword, and then function name and parameters that it accept. But here you see the notation is a bit different. A colon integer, B colon integer. So my function add will accept these two parameters, and after closing the bracket you should mention colon then followed by what kind of return type your function is providing. So that you need to provide. If your function is not giving any output, which means you are printing something over here itself, then you can directly specify unit. So unit is something that equivalent to void in Java, so which means return nothing. So and you can start equal to, this is the symbol again, you have to give equal to and then start open flat bracket and then close flat bracket. Within that you can write anything. So let me code without giving any I mean Spark related. This is a plain Scala code. So you can write here itself def keyword and then add. You can give anything, add one also, and
Raja,
then
sorry to interrupt. For
yes,
the void data type, what was the keyword?
unit,
Unit.
unit, yeah, and add one. Now I'll say a colon int. So integer value I'm expecting, and b colon int. I'm expecting one more integer value. Then colon what return type should be, like integer I'm expecting again, and equal to symbol should be there, and then open flat bracket, enter. So here I'll just use a plus b because my function is having a and b, so I'm performing operation on that only, a plus b, and then close flat bracket, just enter. You see here add one. So this with this definition a function has been added. Now if you want to call that, just use add one. So sum 10 comma 30, sorry 12 comma 30, just enter. So the sum has been printed. Okay,
Okay.
right? So now how we can utilize this, Kalpana, you clear? So this is just very simple function that we write in Scala.
Yeah, I
So,
understood.
so now what we will do, we will make use of same function in the Spark. So UDF, user defined function. So you can write even n number of lines of code here to calculate something, and then every time if it is a kind of a iterative, and if it is a kind of, sorry, not iterative, if it is a reusable across your applications, you can write one block of code, so it will minimize the writing multiple times. So now once you define the function, you see here, maybe we need to import something. We'll try first this thing. So what this syntax is, val add function, name of the function. So I'm giving a standard naming for this, and then UDF is built in one, UDF of, this is what I have written, add one. So when you give underscore colon int means you are not specifying any value, you are just specifying that any naming convention that you can follow. So that's why I've used just hyphen colon int and then hyphen colon int, the same addition function only, add one function only. But rather I specify ab here, I just specify underscore, and let's see whether it will execute or not. See, now it says add function. So user defined function has been added with integer type as a input for this. So now we know that test.2df, okay, I haven't converted, right? Now you see here, there is a statement that I've written, but I will use df1. I'll use, okay, df1 equivalent to, I'm just using column 1 and column 2. So now my df1 is having those two fields. I wanted to calculate this and this. See, you can directly perform like this, you know, df1 dot with column, okay, you can directly specify total comma call one plus column 2. You can directly specify like this. I think something like this. Let me refer this. Yeah, dollar we have to give. This is, I'll execute first if it is not coming. Yeah, dollar. This is another notation for with column. If you want to specify that it is a column, otherwise it considers as a string. So I'm just making it as a dollar colon, sorry, double quotes and then column 1, which means it is a data frame column name from df1. So let's execute this. You see, it's came already. No need to separate anything. Sorry, just to make clarity. Then dot show you views. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm just adding up these two. You can do directly here, but I wanted to achieve same thing through user defined function. So now, so far I have created a user defined function by writing the function and then adding it to a function name called add function using UDF. UDF is nothing but user defined function, which is a built-in method to convert your function into a user defined function. Clear? Now we will apply. Yeah, now we will
Sorry, Raja, already it is a user-defined function only, right? When you created add one.
yeah, add
No?
one. No, this is a just function till here, and when you call
Okay.
this add one, this is just a plain function. It's a plain
Okay.
function. Now you wanted to use it as a UDF, means you wanted to include here total. I just calculated using $1 column 1 plus $1 dollar column 2, right? So it given the output. But now I will pass this column 1 and column 2 for this user defined function and then get the output.
Okay.
Okay,
But what is the difference that user-defined function and normal function?
see, user defined function, that's what plain function is something that it will be available till Scala only.
Okay.
So when you make it user defined function, you can use it in the Spark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't think so you can call that particular add one. Let's say I will define one more function and then test it. Before that, first let me complete the demonstration with UDF. Then we will try by calling direct Scala function. Okay, from here. So to call the UDF, this is the syntax: add function, because I have created add function here. If you see here, add function, this is a name. So this particular function we will pass dollar column 1 dollar column 2 as total, and then remaining columns also we will use. And I'm using select function here. See, I'm not using with column, I'm using select is used to select particular columns. For example, you have some 10 columns and you wanted to select only 5 columns, you can specify select of those column list. So now I'm not using with column. So right now I'm going to use directly df1 dot. I know this particular df contains column 1 and column 2. So column 1, column 2, and here also I'll make it column 1 column 2, sorry, column 2, just show it. So this is another difference, Kalpana. You see the same functionality has been achieved, but here I used with the column, but here I just use select column. That is one more difference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I will try to use without using this add function. Anyway, I know that add one is a plain function, whether it will
Oh,
work or
sorry,
not.
Raja.
Yeah,
Select is a method to select the columns, which columns to be
exactly.
displayed.
Exactly.
Oh,
For example, you have a data frame 1 and you have around 10 columns. You don't want to
okay.
have all the 10 columns. You can just select specific columns like 5
To
columns.
specific columns.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you can use this syntax. So here
Okay.
the difference between this one with column, we used with column to make one more column, to derive one more column by adding this. But I'm not using with column here. I'm using just a select of add functions with these two columns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now your question is, what is the difference between UDF function and plain function? Why can't we call that plain function? Let's try this and then see if it is working, then well and good.
I'm sorry. I just have a question. So,
Yeah,
whenever we need to create a UDF function, first we need to create a function. Then I need to
exactly,
convert that into a UDF.
correct, exactly. Yes,
We can't directly create a UDF function.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now if you see, I passed the plain function name, not the user defined function name, and it already thrown some error, but let me correct it. Whether it is expecting something else, dollar it is saying as error, still there is no use, but you can pass something like this, df1 of, let's try this way. I think there is df1 of I'll use again single quotes. See, it is not working for the plain function. But when I use the same user defined function, yeah. So here add function, and then it is accepting two column names, and these two column names we will pass it to the above block of code. This block, which one? Here, this block of code, and it performs and then returns the value. That is the advantage of add function. Sorry, user defined function. Clear, guys? If you have any doubts, let me
Clear, Raja.
know. Okay. How about you, Kalpana?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are good here. User defined function, and I wanted to show you how to read the data from a JSON file and Parquet file, and I can't show right now using CSV in 1.6 version. But I have a 2.plus version that is available for my Windows. If you see here, I downloaded sometime Spark Windows. Yeah, Spark Windows. I'm not sure whether it will work from here. So you can download this, and for any practicing purpose, if you are not having any cluster setup and all, you can directly use from here. Let me start here, Spark Shell. If it is working well and good, otherwise I'll copy this. This is actually my portable drive. So last time I told you, right, my laptop got issues, so I placed it in a backup. Let's see whether it will work from here. Otherwise I'll get it into local machine and then see. So before it launch, same way, it will work same way, but the version is different. If it launches means good. Otherwise, meanwhile I will also search for it's still launching. Meanwhile I will find out mm, me see. Okay, yeah, it is launching. Good. You see here, my version is 2.1.1. So that's why. Let's read a CSV file from here, and then we will find out how that particular Spark 2 will handle directly creating this data frame. So where I wanted to transformations, already partitions. I will use the same file. Okay, I'll just copy this. This is available in my. Okay, this is not available right now. Documents spent on tutorials. Spark. So okay, from here I have. So what I need to do here. So again, val read CSV equal to. You can see here it is SC. So Spark context is available as SC. Spark session is available as Spark. Guys, now a new concept is here. Spark session is. I told you what is Spark context, right? Spark context.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So it is a kind of a gateway. Like it will provide communication to the Spark framework, and you can reference with SC. So Spark session is also similar functionality. So which will be providing all the services, but Spark session will be having all kind of SQL context, Hive context, all this. So that's why Spark context is introduced in 2.x version. Before to that, we had Spark context, but in the latest version, they will be available in both. One with SC, other one with Spark. Okay. So now to work with the CSV file, you can use the Spark dot. Okay, read dot format. You have to specify CSV dot load. Within this, you have to place file, and I think you have to specify double. This way, you have to provide double slash, because in Windows will not understand that. In Windows, always you have to specify like this. So what is the file name that we have here? Olympics data. Okay, Olympics data. Dot CSV and close this. Now dot options. We don't have a header anyway, so you can ignore this. Otherwise, options, you can put it options. Okay, header comma true, you have to put it. Okay, for now we don't have any header, so I'll just remove this option and then just enter it. Let's see. Yeah, you see. Oh, okay, it's created automatically. C1, C2, like that. C0, C1, 8 more fields. And now I will try to display the data. CSV dot show method, because you see here, when we were reading using sc.text file, it created RDD by default. But when we are creating using format CSV, this is the method spark.read.format of CSV, then it is creating data frame directly. So we
Raja,
will
here
use.
we didn't give any what separator we need to use. Nothing.
No, because it is a CSV file and comma separator. So obviously it has taken that. Otherwise, there is an option also. Just now I mentioned options, right? You can specify separator also, delimiter something. Okay.
Okay.
You see here, column 1. So automatically it picked up 0, C1, C2 like that, C0, C1 till C9. That's how you will start working with your flat files. I mean, when it comes to CSV. So this, if you understand this, then rest of operations are similar. You can do joins between two data frames. You can filter columns. You can derive new fields using with column, and you can aggregate using group by. So mostly we do these operations only. You can extract from a date field, year, month. You can do date operations. You can do string operations like trim, or else you can split it, or else if you want to combine two fields. So all these are like ETL operations. So you can do everything. So once reading the data frame is important. Once you read the data frame, of course you can explore on operations, so transformations and actions. So now we will go back to our 1.6 version, because 1.6 version is supporting reading JSON file and Parquet file. So here we have a Parquet file. Okay, we created during our previous Hive sessions or big sessions. So this particular folder is having KP sessions, and u_user Parquet is having Parquet files. So to load the Parquet, you see here, you can directly use SQL context. No need to use Spark. Even Spark also supports, sorry, this particular Spark, not regular Spark. This particular Spark method. So Spark session available as Spark, right? So this particular Spark also you can use to read JSON and Parquet files. Okay. So also you can use SQL context directly. It is supporting. So now let's see here. I'm using same SQL context method. So what I'm saying, SQL context. Yesterday we have seen that SQL context dot SQL of query we have written, right? Now we are mentioning SQL context dot read dot format of. So I'm specifying my file format is Parquet. Then dot load of particular file. That's all. You see, though we cannot see this file directly because it will be something not readable format, not human readable format, but still this particular Parquet, when we given, so it understood that yes, column names are this and data also. Let's see, read, it's not CSV, but I've taken the name like that. Okay, you see. Okay, now again the data is available in our data format. Clear, guys? So now we will see JSON file. So JSON file also same way, SQL context, read, format, but instead of Parquet I specify JSON. That's all. So let's copy this. You stop me, guys, if you are not getting.
Okay, Ravi.
Yeah. So this particular, yeah, again you see here, age, gender, all this data is available inside user JSON. It understands automatically. And read JSON dot show I will use. Okay, the data frame, the data is available. So that's how we read the data from CSV, Parquet, and JSON data. So if you are going to start working here, you can use the same syntax, but you can specify something like this: val. Okay, val read JSON equivalent to spark dot read dot format. You have to give, within that you have to give JSON dot load of file name. So this will work for you. I don't have a JSON file right now. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I don't have the JSON file, but you can directly specify the path and it will load the data to our read JSON data frame. Similarly, if it is of Parquet, that's all. Clear, guys? Any doubts so far? User defined function and reading data from this one.
No, Raju, clear. Raju.
So now the other way, yesterday we were discussing, right? I think hope you got it. So SQL context dot SQL. So val read Hive table equivalent to SQL context dot SQL select star from kp underscore database dot u underscore user.
So Raja,
Yeah.
so when we loading the data into the data frame,
Hmm.
it takes everything in a string, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yesterday we have seen that. Yeah, I will cover that also.
Okay.
That's why I'm reading a table, this one. And let's see how we can cast it during the operation. So I think for that, something wrong. So okay, it's not FROM, it's something. Okay, let it run. Okay, so group by aggregation I was telling, right? So read Hive table dot group by and read Hive table, sorry, group by of key. We have to specify occupation dot agg. Okay, and then min of, okay, min of age. I think here dot you can specify uh, directly. We can cast here, or else with column, using with column also we can perform. Let's see here. Cast of integer type we have to specify, and yeah, dot show. Okay, it is expecting something. Min 1 2 3. Okay, one more one. Yeah, I'll just use the same one. I think here we need to close one more thing. Yeah. Okay, cast here, value cast is not a member of string. Okay, it says that it is not available. Then we can, what we can do the other way. Let's see. With column age new column dot. Okay, then dollar single quotes I will use age, the column name, existing column name, dot cast, whether it will work here, cast of integer type show. Okay, I need to import something, SQL implicit types. Yesterday I was using, right? 1 second, let me go back to Spark practice. Okay, not here, dates. Yeah, dates one. Yeah, here I will use this particular one because it is not understanding. So I'll just import this. I'll try to import this, at least it will understand that integer type. So now I will use the casting integer type dot show. Okay, so now age new has displayed. Now what I can do here, dot group by of clear, right? You can stop me guys if you are missed or if you are lost here.
Okay, Raja.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, looking into it. Let me
Yeah,
let you complete it and let me understand.
okay. So I'm just defining this a new field and then occupation, then dot agg of max of age new comma min of age new. Okay, aggregate, and I'll have to give one more column. Dot show I will use anyway, and here I'll take as max age, and here I will use as min age. That's all. Let me execute this. Okay, it's thrown some error. I should put in double quotes. Let's see. Now you see here yesterday for student age, we were getting some other value. If you could remember, even now also I can directly apply without using this age new. I will apply on the regular age column, which is original column, not casting one. So if you see here now, student max is has come 7, min is coming 10. So now we achieved that using, I mean, we casted that particular column by deriving a new column, and then if you see the results now, it looks good. Student 42 and then min is 7. So that's how we will cast it.
So
And
here group by it's act like a select as well. It just gave only 3 columns: occupation,
yeah,
min and
because
max.
once you start grouping here, whatever the fields you specify in the grouping and in the aggregations, those only will be displayed, Kalpana.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, Charan, you have any questions?
Uh, no, Raja. Like the cast is like something I'm understanding right now.
Okay, just the original column. See, I really didn't get a time to practice this, but I thought of converting like this. So same thing we done it in RDD. So when we are calculating total medals for each player, when we use direct function, since it was a string, so it just combined, I mean concatenated those values, but it was not giving actual result. Then I used there
So
to int.
yeah, so the thing is like when we are dealing with the RDD, we can use the to int, but when we are
Yes.
dealing
Hmm.
with data
Correct.
frames, it
Correct.
actually creates a new column.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, that is one thing. And what I wanted to tell here, yeah, there is another function called case class. Case class is used to define set of columns and then data types. And if you are converting from RDD to a data frame, then it will give you the metadata and can convert. So that we will see in the later. That example I'm not having right now. I'll just practice it and then explain you. So what I mean to say is you have an RDD, and RDD is not having any column naming conventions, right? So it just array format. and you can define case class and then you can apply on top of it. So case class is something that it is a immutable thing, and it will be used to create a table structure like column structure, and you can use that to create a data frame. So when you are converting RDD to a data frame, you can make use of those columns. So directly you can put it like this. So we have seen an example also. So when you are converting an RDD, so you can directly put something like this, right? Yesterday we have seen dot to df and the name of the columns somewhere over here. Okay, it's not there, but say for example, you have to create a data frame using existing RDD. Val df1 equal to your existing RDDs, like RDD1 you have just dot to df. So you can specify columns here, right? So it will convert into proper RDD, sorry, proper data frame. So this way, you no need to use 2df function. You have another function, create data frame. Create data frame is another method. So which will accept two things. One is your RDD, parallelized RDD, and other one is case class related function. So it will accept metadata. So it creates the data frame, like how we created a data frame using Hive or SQL or Parquet or JSON. Same way, it will construct a new data frame. That I'll show you in the next session. So clear, guys?
Okay, Raja.
Yeah. So that's all. We can close this, and if possible, we will meet your time morning, or else regular class tomorrow my time 7:30 in the morning, 9 p.m. your time. I think we are almost close. Another 1 or 2 sessions max.
Okay. So maybe we can expect this by this weekend. We
Yeah,
can
yeah,
expect.
yeah. I will try to close it, because Saturday, Sunday, if you are not having any plans for at least 30 minutes, I will not take 1 hour also. Then I will be able to finish it. So meeting going to end it, guys. Okay, less than 1 minute.
Just tell me the before day itself.